The Indiana Fever came into this game knowing the Golden State Valkyries would play very physical. Everyone in the league has been saying one thing lately. If you want to slow Caitlin Clark down, you need to pressure her, hit her, trap her, and try to make her upset before she gets comfortable. But what Tiffany Hayes and the Valkyries found out the hard way is that waking up Caitlin Clark can be the worst thing you can do. Because once she gets emotional, once she starts talking back, the whole feeling of the game changes. And that is exactly what happened.
Caitlin Clark pulling up from long range. Tiffany Hayes turning around looking at CC. Caitlin Clark says, let's go. Me and you right now. And as soon as that occurred, Tiffany Hayes couldn't hit a layup for the rest of the game.
Holy shit, they can't hit a layup to save their life. They had open shots. They had drives to the basket. They were way off.
Early in the first quarter, Tiffany Hayes was on fire. She drove hard to the basket, made tough shots, and after one score, she started clapping right in Caitlin Clark's face. The cameras picked it up right away. You could tell this game was not going to stay a normal regular season game for long. The crowd began buzzing. Both benches were talking. And suddenly, Caitlin Clark looked different. Focused, angry, and dangerous.
Caitlin Clark makes her triumphant return. She was this close to getting that double-double. You know what Stephanie White did? She said, hey, you, Missy, come here. Sit down right next to me on the bench. No double-double for you, Caitlin.
If you're a real Caitlin Clark fan and believe she's already becoming the face of the league, type Caitlin Clark GOAT 100% in the comments right now.
WNBA players hate Caitlin Clark. This is to end the first half. Janelle Saloon gives her a nice shove in the back, gets a rebound, gives her a little bit of an elbow. Both players were given technicals for this. I don't think either should have received technicals. Physical basketball.
And then came the moment everyone is talking about. Caitlin Clark crossed half court, saw Tiffany Hayes right in front of her, and with no hesitation pulled up and hit a wild logo 3 right in her face. Splash! The arena went crazy. But it was not just the shot. It was what came after. Clark walked up to Hayes, stared her down, and started talking. That is when fans think she said the cold line, I am the real deal. You could feel the momentum change instantly. From that moment on, the Valkyries looked shaken. Tiffany Hayes started the game on fire. But after the trash talk got worse, her rhythm completely fell apart. Easy layups started missing. Forced shots started piling up. Indiana's defense got even more aggressive. And Caitlin Clark? She became a total nightmare.
This happened. They called it a flagrant foul. Veronica Burton goes to the line, shoots a free throw, misses the free throw. The Indiana Fever weren't on the floor while she missed the free throw. So what do? They give Veronica Burton 2 extra free throws. I'm telling you, these refs are incapable.
The scary part is that this was not just logo 3s. This was the full Caitlin Clark package. Pull-up deep shots, sharp passes through tight spaces, mid-range fadeaway shots, fast break attacks, tough defense, even hard screens. She finished with 22 points and 9 assists, just barely missing another double-double while fully controlling the pace of the game. And what made it even crazier was that she was doing all this against a Golden State team that came into this game with one of the most physical defensive styles in the league. Before the game, the Valkyries coaches even said they wanted to pressure Clark with physical play and knock her out of rhythm. Instead, she looked even stronger because of it.
Caitlin Clark and the Fever showed out in the third quarter. Aaliyah Boston, 20 points on 8 of 15, 16 boards, 3 blocks. And Caitlin Clark, 17 of 15, 4 of 9 from three-point range, 22, 9 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. Her three-point shot is back.
One analyst after the game said Clark looked like she was finally done trying to stay calm and polite. Another compared her mindset to Kobe Bryant, saying the more emotional the game got, the more unstoppable she seemed. Honestly, it is hard to argue with that. Even the national conversation started shifting after this performance. Sports shows started asking if Caitlin Clark is already in MVP territory this season. Through the early part of the season, she is leading the league in assists, near the top in scoring, and once again changing what WNBA range looks like. Former players and analysts have repeatedly said, there has never been another guard who stretches defenses this far from the basket every night. And Golden State saw that live. The Valkyries kept trying to switch defenders onto her. It did not matter. Trap her? Did not matter. Play physical? Did not matter. Every time they thought they had control, Clark hit back with another big shot. But the game was not only about offense. What shocked fans the most was Caitlin's toughness. Late in the second quarter, things got heated right before halftime after contact under the basket led to players shoving each other. Clark did not back down for even a second. Technical fouls were called. Players had to be separated, and Fever teammates quickly ran in to support her. That moment fired up the crowd even more. And honestly, it felt symbolic. For months, critics said Caitlin Clark struggles with physical play, that she gets frustrated, that teams can push her around. Not tonight. Tonight felt different. Tonight felt like a superstar finally embracing the chaos instead of avoiding it. And once that happened, the Valkyries had no answer. And what made all of this even more interesting was what happened after the game. Instead of simply admitting Caitlin Clark dominated, Tiffany Hayes sounded frustrated in the post-game press conference. When reporters asked about the Fever offense and Clark's performance, Hayes tried to downplay it by saying the Valkyries just needed to fix small things and that the loss was on them. But fans immediately pushed back on that because this was not just small mistakes. This was Caitlin Clark taking over the game.
This may have been the night that Caitlin Clark put the league on notice. I've had enough of y'all's bullshit.
You don't accidentally stop someone from shooting from 30 feet. You don't accidentally stop a player who is throwing full-court passes, controlling the pace, and pulling defenders all over the floor. At some point, you have to admit greatness is greatness. And that is what made the reaction online blow up. Social media quickly filled with clips of Clark's logo 3 right in Tiffany Hayes' face. Sports pages kept replaying the stare down again and again. Fans started calling it one of the coldest moments of the season so far. Even bigger sports media names started talking about how different Caitlin Clark looks mentally this year. This was not the smiling rookie everyone tried to test last season. This looked like a superstar who is tired of hearing disrespect. And honestly, the stats back it up. Clark is putting together one of the greatest offensive starts we have ever seen from a WNBA guard. She is scoring at an elite level, leading the league in assists, and hitting shots that completely break defensive game plans. Teams are picking her up near half court now, and it still does not matter. That is what makes her scary. The moment defenders step up, she blows right past them. The moment they back off, she shoots from the logo. The moment they trap her, she throws a perfect pass to an open teammate. Golden State tried every defensive look they had and eventually ran out of answers. Meanwhile, Caitlin kept getting stronger as the game got more emotional. That is the scary part for the rest of the league.
This game would absolutely sell out. People bought tickets thinking Kate Martin was going to be in this game.
Even the physical moments started to help her mentally. One hard collision led to technical fouls right before halftime. Another play saw Clark called for a flagrant after setting a huge screen that knocked a defender down. The crowd went wild. Fever players quickly stepped in to defend her. And instead of slowing down after that, Clark played even more aggressively. She attacked the basket harder. She talked more trash. She played with more confidence and swagger. At one point, she even looked like she laughed after another deep three while staring straight at the Valkyries bench. That is when you could tell Golden State had lost control of the game. And even with all the attention on Caitlin, we also have to talk about how important the supporting cast was in this win. Aaliyah Boston was strong inside with 20 points and 16 rebounds, controlling the paint while Clark stretched the floor. Kelsey Mitchell added 19 points, even though she was a bit inconsistent at times. Sophie Cunningham brought big energy off the bench, and Raven Johnson added toughness and defense that completely changed the second half tempo. But make no mistake, this game belonged to Caitlin Clark. One analyst after the game said this felt like the first time all season that Clark fully embraced being the villain. Instead of ignoring trash talk, she answered it directly. Instead of staying quiet after hard fouls, she responded with buckets. And instead of letting defenders intimidate her, she intimidated them. That is a dangerous evolution because if Caitlin Clark combines elite playmaking with that kind of killer mentality, the rest of the WNBA could be in serious trouble. And you can already feel the concern growing across the league.
Caitlin Clark through 57 games, more points than Diana Taurasi, more assists than anyone, more threes than anyone.
Coaches are openly talking about how hard it is to guard her shooting range. Players are getting frustrated by how much attention she gets. Crowds go crazy every time she crosses half court. And every big moment just keeps making her even bigger. That is why the Tiffany Hayes situation blew up online so much. Fans felt like Hayes tried to test Clark emotionally. And Clark answered by completely taking over the game. The logo 3. The stare down. The me and you vibe. The physical play. The trash talk. The domination. It all created one of the most intense Caitlin Clark moments we have seen this season. And honestly, this might be the game people look back on later in the year and say, this was the night Caitlin Clark stopped trying to fit into the WNBA and started showing she is becoming the face of it. Do you think Tiffany Hayes made a big mistake by waking up the aggressive side of Caitlin Clark?